How you doing? My name is Caesar. Welcome.
How you doing? My name is Josh.
Nice to meet you, Josh.
Nice to meet you.
Just gotta let you know a couple of things about any session that we do here together. Gotta talk to you about confidentiality, which is basically I would have to share anything that you say that has to do with harming yourself, harming somebody else, or you being harmed in any way, shape, or form. Other
Okay.
than that, everything else that you say here is fair game.
Okay.
It's pretty much fair game. Um, the way I do my sessions, I use just thought theory,
Mhm.
which is basically you being aware of your environment. It'll help you make better decisions about make better decisions within your environment and what you're going through at the present time.
Okay.
Um, and that theory right there will help you. Like when you gotta make a decision at a present time, it'll make you become more aware of it, and it'll be a little bit easier for you to make decisions for yourself.
Okay. That's interesting.
We have about 8 sessions.
Right.
They will be about 40 to 45 minutes long, and that's basically the premise of the way I do my sessions.
Okay. That sounds good.
All right. So, what brings you in today?
Well, just kind of, I guess, frustrated, disappointed at myself. I mean, I'm going to school right now. I'm 36 years old. I'm finishing up or trying to finish up my master's, but and I never went to school when I was, right out of high school. Didn't go right to college. I started my undergrad at, 28 years old. So
Okay.
I feel like I'm so behind. Although I'm doing well now and I'm moving towards success, I feel like I should be 20 steps ahead already. There's people who are, 10 years younger than me who already have 2 masters.
Okay.
So I'm kind of, I don't know what really I could do about it, but I'm finding myself frustrated and maybe sometimes a little disappointed in myself that I made those decisions and now I'm kind of just have to suck it up and deal with it.
Okay.
That's, kind of want to get it off my chest too. I feel like I would be a little happier if I was already, master's done, all set, maybe a little bit younger too, have a little, no more of my youth back, already have my career kind of in place. I think I'd be in a better spot.
All right. I see where you're going. All right. So, you seem a little frustrated, a little disappointed with some of the decisions that you made early on in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe feeling that if you would have made a different choice here or a different choice there, you would have been in a different position at this point right now.
Absolutely.
Right? Care to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, again, I think that at the time that I made the decision not to go, right to college after high school, I was working. Even before I graduated high school, I was been working since I've been like 15, working papers, all that, and trying to just pay my bills, help support my family. Always, also wanted to have money in my pocket. I didn't want to ask my parents for money, stuff like that. So I wanted to my outlook was go right to work. I don't want to go to school. Not that I didn't like school, but college just didn't seem like my thing at the time.
All right.
And making money and having money in my pocket, paying my bills, getting a car was definitely something I wanted to do. So a lot of it did revolve around the car. I bought my first car and then figured out I can't pay the insurance or any thing that comes with it, other than just buying the car. So I said, I got to go to work, and it felt good at the time. I felt independent. I had friends who were going to school, but I was working, so I felt at the time not better, but like maybe more mature, and like I was kind of the one who was ahead of the game. And now,
Okay.
Looking back at it, I'm, not comparing myself to anyone in specific, but I feel like I'm not, because I'm going to be 40 eventually pretty soon, and just going to have been starting my career in a sense. I'd like to be. I wish I was further along than I am.
Okay. So it seems that in the middle of your frustrations that you are having, there is some positive things that did come from you not attending college right after high school. It seems that you became your own man at that time.
Sure.
You had certain goals that you had set for yourself, and you achieved those goals. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting. When you say it like that, it sounds a little better.
No.
Because that is true though. I was, and eventually soon after I got my own apartment too, and I was living on my own, and pretty much every person who I knew who was that age, I'm talking, 21, 22,
Right.
no one lived on their own, no one had a car, everyone was still with their parents, which is nothing wrong with that, but that's
Right,
not
right.
what I wanted to do. I wanted my freedom, I wanted my my independence, my own stuff, and invite your friends over, invite your girlfriend over, invite her to your own apartment or to your mom's house, so that kind of guided my decision too, and really just wasn't a big textbook guy. I really wasn't into, more schooling at that point in time, and, I, at some point, to some extent regret that decision, and if I could go back, would I do some things different? I think I would. You can't go back and do that, but I find myself again just frustrated, disappointed that now I didn't waste my time, but I could have done so much more with the time, and I've been in a better spot now, and now I'm still struggling to get up there, and people who are younger who are already successful. It's frustrating.
Well, I also sense that by you making those moves, there was an inner like inside of you wanted some freedom.
Yeah, at the time, definitely.
Because I sensed the freedom when you spoke about your parents, and you also spoke about that you also had friends that lived with the parents. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that you also felt some freedom, you felt some accomplishment about the fact that you got your own apartment, you had your own car, you were able to do your own thing.
Right.
Is that accurate?
100%, yeah. I mean, I still have those things to this day, the car. But, again, now it's more of a necessity. You have to have a job. You have to have an apartment. You have to have a car to some extent. Whereas back then I was doing it, I could have still stayed with my parents, been supported by them, maybe still worked and kept some of my money, but instead, I chose to just go on my own. I loved my parents. The home life was great there. I wasn't trying to, get away from anything negative. It was just I wanted to, you're a young man, 21, 22, you want to be on your own and, explore the world or explore, where you're at. And so that's kind of was the feeling. You're right, though. I did feel a big sense of accomplishment at the time, and I still do, but it's not as big, because I know, again, had I made a different decision, I would have accomplished a lot more, and not just, apartment, a car is great, but I could have had a degree, could have had a career, the one I'm striving for now, and still maybe also achieve those other things. So, you can't go back in time and change things, but I think I wish I would have made other decisions, and I wouldn't be, disappointed in myself. And I like to think make smart decisions. I don't usually make horrible decisions. I don't, make quick decisions. I don't do stuff that I think would not be benefit. I think to the future is just going to really benefit me. And I did do a lot of thinking at the time and said, no, college just wasn't for me at that time.
All right. So I sense you had accomplishments of your own. You reached your goals. You also have some frustrations, but also at the same time, I feel like you're saying that you had some time that was wasted.
Yeah, that's how
in
I
a
feel.
sense.
Yeah.
You have a lot of time.
Now
that you
looking
felt was
back
wasted.
on it, yes, definitely.
All right. So I have a little technique that I want to use with you right now. Maybe this can help you a little bit to try to see where that time was wasted. See if you can see how that happened. I'm gonna have you. I'm gonna have your present self speak to your past self about how those choices that you made in the past have placed you in the path that you are on now.
Okay.
Okay? Maybe, so your past self is going to be right here. Okay. You're going to be right here. And you are going to talk to your past self about all the choices that were made when you were 18 years old, out of high school, and how all of those choices now have you thinking the way that you're thinking right now.
So am I almost like giving myself some advice here?
Yes, you're gonna talk.
I would change.
Right, you're gonna talk to the past self and tell the past self, listen, all these things that you did while at the time were, great. Now, great at the time, or seemed great at the time.
Right, exactly.
Now have put me in this situation now where I'm actually behind, or I feel like I'm behind.
Right.
Rather than I could have been probably in a place different. So.
Sure. Okay. So I'll call myself Past Josh, I guess.
Past Josh.
Past Josh. I'll refer to us as we. We're gonna make a couple of, I'm gonna say, not the best decisions at the time. It seems like,
All right, so we're gonna pick it up right where we left off with. Right now, you're gonna have your past self. You're gonna have your present self speak to your past self about the decisions that you made that have placed you where you are right now.
Right.
All right.
Okay. So, past Josh, I know we very soon are going to make the decision to not go to college right after high school. I know the way we're feeling is we want to work, want to live on our own, we want to get a car, we don't want to live with our parents anymore. And that's all great. You know, it's going to give us a lot of the independence. It's going to give us and make us feel very successful, and in its own right it did. But now, speaking to you as someone who's now 36 and not 18, I really wish we would have went to college, you know, right after high school, and kind of got a early start, or go the way it should go. High school, 4 years of college, master's, and by the time you're 28, 27, you know, whatever the case may be, you'd have your master's, you'd have your career, you'd still be a young man, your whole life ahead of you. So I'm kind of disappointed in you, me, us about, you know, making that decision, and now I found myself being frustrated about it. You know, at the time we maybe didn't want to impress people, but, you know, we wanted to be able to say, I have my own house. We wanted to be able to say, I have my own car. I wanted to be able to invite friends, girlfriend over to my place, not my parents' place. And really weren't a lot into school, so I know, like, you hate school at this point. You don't want to do reading and homework and write papers and listen to lectures, but think of it as, you know, someone who's now down the line, us, and thinking of it as you could really be in a better spot and have a lot more time to yourself, and not look back and think that it's just wasted years of, again, you were working, you were conducting yourself as an adult and doing what you had to do, but now we're feeling like we're lacking and we're behind. I don't want to feel like that anymore. Is he talking back to me, or?
Yeah, I mean, he can't respond to everything that you are.
And knowing my past self, I would say, you know, well, that's all fine and well, but I think it was the part also of not only wanting the independence, but not wanting to go to school. You know how, like, and I mean, it doesn't feel right at that time. So I know, putting myself back in those shoes, I know it didn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't feel like the right decision. But being that we're going to do it down the line, again, trying to put myself in the past, I wish we would have made a different decision and say, you know what, go to school, get it done early, kind of push through your favorite thing, but something that's necessary to succeed, increase your knowledge, get your education, and start your life. I'm kind of disappointed that, you know, we didn't do that. Kind of, again, frustrating, disappointed. I don't like to be disappointed in myself.
Right.
Like, I make all the right decisions, don't, you know, follow the law, don't drink, don't do drugs, do all the right stuff, but I'm still feeling like I'm lacking. Why aren't I in that, you know, position to be successful? And it was because of the decision I made. Again, I'm not necessarily crying about it, because you can't change the past.
No.
I felt it was right. You know, at the time, I did co-sign that decision, but now I just, you know, not where I want to be.
Okay.
And now, you know, working full-time could take that a little bit easier when you're 22. Before you have more energy, working full-time, never drank coffee. Now it's hard to survive even without, you know, a coffee and staying awake, and full-time job, family responsibility, school. Whereas, you know, when you're 18, still under your parents' roof, you could just concentrate on school.
Okay.
So I feel like it would be easier to do the school too. It was really hard to get my undergrad while I work in full-time. I was actually doing 2 jobs when I did my undergrad. Now I'm just doing the one. But again, taking care of family members, taking care of siblings, taking care of a lot of people, and overwhelming. I know that if that was in the, you know, completed already, now I could just concentrate on 3 things instead of 7 things. And I know that would make me at ease. I wouldn't be frustrated. I wouldn't be stressed. I'd feel better, I think, in general.
So how did it make you feel, talking to your past self about the place that your decisions in the past have put you on right now?
It was a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Not strange, but almost like I felt, it's like surreal, because I'm saying out loud that I'm disappointed in myself. It's really hitting home about how disappointed I really am, but also letting me know that that was the decision that was made at that time that I thought was the best. I didn't make it to I did think down the road. I thought, is this really the decision I want to make for the future? I didn't just make it in the here and now, and my thought was apartment, job, car, that is success, that
Right.
is being an adult. But now, looking back, where was that education component? Where was the school? Where
Right.
was that stuff to be, better and, making more money, being more successful, buying a better place to live, a better car,
Mhm.
stuff like that, supporting your family. So I'm doing that. It's just a lot more of a struggle now. I
Okay.
think it would have been easier had I started earlier.
Okay.
But it did kind of help a little, and it was an interesting way to kind of think back on things and, realize that, they were my decisions. I have to live with them, but it's okay to be disappointed.
Yeah.
I do a lot of good work too. I think I'm gonna be successful and
Yeah.
gonna succeed in the future. I just, at a slower pace than
Right,
most.
right. Okay, so it was like for me watching you go through the process. It seemed like it was a little bit of a relief. It was you were able to like release some of those small frustrations that you had with the decisions that you made in the past,
Mhm.
and also realizing that there is still a future.
Sure.
There is still a today, there is still a tomorrow, and there is still decisions that you're making right now that will affect the tomorrow. But they will affect them in a more positive light, in a way that you are gonna feel more proud of yourself about the way you're going about it now.
Yeah, and if anything, I think it kind of made me, not that I don't take great care in the decisions I make now, but would I want someone 10 years down the line to talk to myself now and say you didn't make a good decision? It's almost like be more careful of the decisions
Right.
I make and put, again, great care into what am I doing in my life? What's the next step? What's the best move for me? And not what's the best move for me right now, but thinking towards the future.
Right.
What is this decision going to do for me in 10 years, 20
Okay.
years, whatever the case may be? And really just trying to get myself better. I mean, you don't have to go to school, but I
Mhm.
really felt like, getting my education and getting that next level was something that I wanted to do, but just not at that time.
Okay.
It's kind of like a late bloomer.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned how the future may look like a couple of years down the line, because that's going to be the next step in this session that we have right now. We're going to have you, I'm going to have your future self speak to the present self about how the decisions that you're making right now are going to put you in a very successful place in the future, or potentially a very
It's
successful
almost
place in
like
the future.
positively encouraging myself in a sense.
In a sense, yes.
Okay.
So
That's easier than talking to my
your
past
present self, right here, future self, is you
Okay.
talking to your present self about the decisions that you're making now, that in the future, the way that you're gonna be in the future.
Okay. So present self. If I'm my future self, I would certainly say, keep on the right track. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep working hard. I know it is rough. I know it's absolutely exhausting. Working full time, taking care of family members, consistently going to school for a graduate, doing a lot of reading, doing a lot of work, doing a lot of papers, really having no time for yourself. It seems like it's really difficult right now, and it is, but keep pushing through, keep persevering, and you're going to be successful. You're going to achieve all the things you want. You're going to have the career, you're going to have the degree, you're going to have the family, and things will fall in place, but you got to just keep working hard and not fall off and not let anything, I think, discourage you, because it is overwhelming. So I could totally, even now, putting myself back as maybe with the present, it's tough to do all the responsibilities. It's almost near impossible. But I don't want to see my present self not continue along. I want to get to the end of the road and really, achieve all the things I do. So I would tell, my present self, keep working hard no matter how hard it seems. You're going to be so much better off, and connect that to the past. Try to make decisions more geared for the future as opposed for the here and now, which we probably did, 10, 12, 15 years ago. So we want to keep up with the decisions that we are making, ones that are going to impact our future for the good. That's kind of, I think, what I would say.
That's what it. I mean,
That felt better than talking to the past.
That felt much better than talking to the past
It
self.
did.
Yeah, because now you seem to be more comfortable in the place that you are right now, as far as decisions that are being made, the path that you are on, and it seems in a way like you can see what 5 years down the line is going to look like.
Mhm.
From what you are doing right now, from what what you're accomplishing right now and all the work that you're putting in right now.
Right. I hope that I continue to, succeed. I think sometimes when I feel disappointed, it doesn't bring me down in a sense, but it could discourage me from working as hard. Not to say that I would stop, working as hard as I do, but it puts the extra pressure on you. Don't mess up, because again, you might find yourself in a spot where,
Right.
Now you're behind again, and you didn't do something that, would impact you for the future. I want to not discourage myself as hard and difficult as things are. I just have to keep going and know that the decisions I make now and the struggles I go through is going to just make me a better, stronger person for the future. And I'm going to have the things I want. I want to ultimately help people too, and that's my goal, trying to get a degree so I can help people. So I almost feel like it's not even really a selfish goal. Of course, I want to be successful and have money and be able to purchase the things I want, but I also want to have the skills to help other people and do good in the world, and not just be another person. I want to be someone who helps.
All right. Well, we've reached the end of this session, but from everything we've gathered, it seems like the decisions that you made in the past have now come back to you, and they seem to be eating away at you a little bit, become a little frustrating for you, because you feel like you should be in a different place, that instead of the ones that you are right now, you feel like you should be a little bit more successful, you should be higher in the job field, you should be somewhere like 3 steps ahead rather than being in the place that you are right now. So for the next session, we're going to continue discussing where you are now and where you can be in the future, and how we can together continue to keep you on that path and continue going in the direction that you're going in right now, hopefully in a successful path. So
I would like that.
If you are willing to come back, that'll be great.
I definitely am, but I think I would like to continue the conversation and see,
All right.
as you speak, what, just comes out. Or
Right.
Think
It's open field is always whatever it is you want to talk about.
I would definitely like that. I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you very much, Josh.
All right.
All right. Dog.